to take it home.
Mm-hmm.
And so I let the doctor know that we needed time and that I wanted to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do the inducing process the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I still wanted to have that moment.
With your kid.
Pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, my mom said that she would fly in that following day. She flew in. And then we went back to the hospital. I got induced. I stayed in the hospital.
Emo Talk Show.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Emo Talk Show. I am your host, Tulia Mulimba. If you don't already know that, I'm so tired. I'm telling you guys. That means you're not subscribed to the channel. Please go ahead and subscribe and watch our previous videos and then continue to watch this one and share it so that you're watching it with somebody else. It can be very boring to watch something alone, but if you're watching it with somebody else and you're able to discuss through, it makes the work that we're doing meaningful. We do appreciate you guys doing that. Today's episode, I've brought another guest, a beautiful one for that matter. And I'll just have her introduce herself to you guys and tell us what she would like us to know about her. Go ahead.
All right, so my name is Naomi. I am originally from Congo, Kinshasa. And I am married, mother of two, and I also run businesses with my husband. So I'm so glad to be here with you. It's been a long minute since we've been trying to do this. So I'm so happy that, God finally made a way for us to connect.
Yes. Thank you so much for reaching out, first things first. And thank you for being consistent and persistent. Because I do remember like last year or 2 years ago. Was it 2 years ago?
It was probably
2 years ago. We had planned to like meet up and like shoot. And then we're like, oh, we can't. Something came up. And then last year I was here for a wedding. And I was like, maybe in the middle of the week we could do something. Didn't happen. But I believe in great timing. I believe in God's timing. And so I am very sure that this is when God wanted us to do this. So thank you so much for coming. Today's episode, you guys, is going to be one of those that's going to bring you chills. It's going to be one that has brought me tears and has brought me chills. And I just do hope that this episode will also do the same for somebody else, but also like bring healing. Today's conversation is about stillbirth or miscarriages. And it is one that is full of tenderness. It is one that's full of sensitivity. But it is one that like many families go through and don't talk about. It's such a silent battle. And so we wanted to bring this to the forefront and just have this conversation because that's what we do at Emo Talk Show. So, Naomi. Yes. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I want to like ask like a silly question to begin this off, but I'm not sure what.
Kind of break the ice.
Break the ice.
Yeah.
Let me see. Ooh, what lake is one of the biggest in Africa and also goes through across like 5 different countries in East Africa?
I ain't done this. Wait, I thought we were supposed to break the ice. This must be nice.
I thought this one is easy. Is it not?
Hi. You said what river?
Lake.
Oh, what lake? Hi.
We get a lot of our fish from there. Has Congolese people, Tanzanians, Burundians, Rwandians.
Hey, you'll have to help me. I'm sorry. I
love when I ask a question and somebody doesn't get it. I love it.
Girl,
because
tell
it
the
just
people.
gives us time to learn. It's Lake Tanganyika, you guys. You guys know that if you're eating any macayabu, if you're eating anything like that, it's coming from Lake Tanganyika. So that is the lake.
Y'all, we learn something new every day.
Every day. But let's get right into it, you guys. Like I said, today's conversation is one that, like, I am so grateful it came up. And I would just like for Naomi to tell us about your first experience to motherhood and how that came about or how that went.
So my first experience, journey to motherhood, oh man, amazing feeling. You just got married, or, you're looking to move on to that next phase of life, right? And our first baby that I carried in my room, came from joy. And one day you wake up and you feel as if there is something wrong, that there's something wrong. And, I tell my husband, we talk about it. He says, no, maybe the baby is sleeping, you're just freaking out. At this point, I'm at 36 weeks. And I remember this day very vividly. And, we call the doctor, and the doctor, my OBGYN office, and I talked to one of the nurses, and, she told me what they tell you to do, drink cold water, get some exercise in, move around, and and eat. Yeah, you have to eat. And so I did all of that, and when I did all of that, I fell asleep. I fell asleep, and she called me back like an hour or two later, and she's like, hey, we're almost closing. You called, we just wanted to check on you to make sure that everything is okay, and you felt some movement with your baby. And I was like, you know what? I did not. Like, I did everything that you told me to do. I got comfortable in my side position, and I fell asleep, and I have yet to feel anything. And so she told me, okay, well, you need to hurry up and go to the emergency room, come to the hospital and get checked out. And, and so to me, I was like, oh, okay, we're going to the hospital. We're just going to go to get a checkup. Everything is going to be fine. They're going to do something, play around with my stomach or whatever to move the baby around, whatever. And on my way there, it was a rainy day. I texted my cousin Dina, I think you know her. I texted her saying, hey, we're headed to the hospital. I haven't felt anything, just give, keep us in mind. And so she sent this long text of just a prayer. And so as we are driving, I'm like reading her text in my prayer mind. And we get there. My husband drops me off. He goes out to park the car. I go into the, labor room. They were waiting for me. Like, everybody was waiting for me. I go into one of the rooms, and I'm waiting for a doctor to come and tell me the results after an ultrasound. So at the ultrasound, I'm just laying there. I'm like looking at the lady that's like going through my stomach or whatever. And I'm just looking for like small signals, right? For me to feel comfortable, like, okay, I'm just freaking out, like everything's gonna be fine. Mind you, again, this is 36 weeks, so we're like prepared, waiting for the baby. The car seat was in the car, and so my husband was taking so long, and the other ladies, like, they were like avoiding me, avoiding my no eye contact. And so I was like, okay, can I go use the restroom? As soon as I went outside, I see like all these 3 nurses like walking away, like splatting like the opposite direction. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? Where is this doctor that's supposed to be telling me
what's going on?
And so I asked one of the ladies, I'm like, hey, you know, I've been waiting for some time. Like, where's the doctor? She's like, oh, no, just wait. Wait inside the room. She'll be there as soon as she can. So the doctor walks in, and I'm like staring at her face for a smile or something to comfort me. And she was like, no, I'm so sorry.
And your husband is not in the room?
My husband is not yet in the room. And she's like, I'm so sorry. We were unable to find a heartbeat. And I was like, okay. Like, I was like, okay, like, try again. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. And so she's like, no, they tried multiple times. I'm like, no, I mean, like, you try it again. Like, you did not try it. You're the doctor. Right? You can find it. And so she was like, yeah, I can try. And at this point, I'm in like tears. My husband just walks in after I'm getting the news, and I'm like screaming at her, like, you have to try again. And so she did. And yeah, she took her gloves off, and she was like, put her hand on me, and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, what does this mean? Like, what do you mean you can't find the heartbeat? Like, the baby is inside of me at 36 weeks. I'm supposed to be giving birth like a week and a half from now. Like, what do you mean you can't find the heartbeat? And so my husband just, you know, consoled me. Like, we were crying. Like, I didn't know what to do. I was screaming, no, like, why me? Like, I don't understand how this happened. Like, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Like, did I eat? Did I drink? Like, did I sleep on my stomach? Like, what did I do for this to happen? And so, yeah, that's that's how that day went. And I was very, very confused. I did not know that something like this could have happened to me. I've never heard of anyone or anybody go through this long journey, only to not hold your baby, like, alive. Yeah, and until this day, it's like, I cannot believe, like, that how happened, how. But
so then, after the doctors came in, you had said that you had to prepare for labor.
Yes.
How was that? What was going through your head?
Yes. So when my husband came, she gave us some time for us to ourselves. Then she came back in, and she was like, oh, you know, I know this is very hard for you to hear, but we're going to have to induce you. And to me, I was thinking, like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? You're using words that I do not understand at this moment. Like, induce me. She's like, yes, we're going to have to go through a procedure to basically help you to push the baby out. And I was like, I have to push the baby out? And she said, yes, that would be the easiest way to do it. And she was like, we can do it now, or it's better for us to do it fast rather than wait, because you may experience some infection. And at that time, my mother was over for the weekend. I think this was probably like on a Tuesday. My mother left on a Sunday.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so we were preparing everything with my mom. She left, and then this happened. And yeah, so I was like, I can't do this. Like, I still wanted to be pregnant. Like, I still wanted to have that, to have that connection with my child. And my mom wasn't there. So I was like, you know what? I called my mom. I let her know, and we were crying on the phone, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, I can't do this. How am I supposed to push something outside of me and I won't be able to take it home?
Mm-hmm.
And
So sorry.
and so I let the doctor know that we needed time and that I wanted to go back home.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do the inducing process the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I still wanted to have that moment.
With your kid.
Pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, my mom said that she would fly in that following day. She flew in. And then we went back to the hospital. I got induced. I stayed in the hospital. And yeah, I gave birth to a stillborn.
I'm so sorry. That's
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
And for your first child,
Yeah.
after getting married, knowing that, like, you know, that's the next joy that comes.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I have no other words. Like, I am so sorry. I know, like, I was processing this information and praying over it, and I was just like, my baby sister is currently pregnant right now, and just thinking, like, this is her first kid, like, thinking about, like, my God, like, how would I take that news? Like, it's my baby sister. Like, I wouldn't be able to. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
you know, like, she has gotten sick, like, once, like, crazy sick during this pregnancy, and I was on the way to her place the next day. Like, so I can only imagine what your mother felt. I can only imagine what your sisters felt, your cousins, people that were expecting to have a baby in the family, like, what they all felt. Even if you had, like, babies within your family, like, our kids, my nieces and nephews are very outspoken. Like, if they knew Mandogo is pregnant, and then Mandogo is no longer pregnant, and there was no baby.
And that was another phase I had to face, like having to kind of, I don't want to say broadcast, but having to communicate, like, you know, it's no longer. Was very, very difficult. Very difficult. And you mentioned about your nieces and nephew. I had one of my nephews, my in-laws, I guess, son, you know, they were around me. They were, you know, holding and rubbing on my stomach. And this happened in September. And in December, you know, first Christmas, holidays, and all of that were all together. And I remember hearing him saying, wait, she's no longer pregnant. Where's the baby? I want to see the baby. And, you know, his mom had to kind of walk him out near, like, away from me. But I heard it, you know, and it's very difficult, you know. How do you explain to a small child, like,
this happened.
You know?
Yeah, I want to take you back a little bit. After being induced and having to birth your child, you then had to prepare the funeral. What was that process like? What was the hardest part of that?
The hardest part, I've mentioned something to one of my friends. I used to have a roommate when I lived in Jersey, and I mentioned to him that one of my fears was to be pregnant and not come home with a child.
Oh no.
And I said that multiple times.
Oh no.
Right. I think
Words
right
are powerful,
before, girl. girl.
Oh,
Right after we got married. This is back in 2019. And that's what kept coming
repeating
in my
itself.
head. Like, I don't know if I knew this was going to happen. I don't know if God was like preparing me for what was going to happen. I don't know until this day. I don't know. But preparing for a funeral, it was like I just came for a checkup.
Right.
I just came for a checkup to check on my baby. And now you're asking me how I want the funeral or how I want to, quote unquote, discard the baby. Like, do I want to do a burial or do I want to have a cremation? And when they asked me that, I was so upset. I was so upset. But then they started explaining to me, you know, there was so many, it happened so fast. And so many things happened on those 2 or 3 days. Things that, you know, people don't think about, right? Like funeral, cremation, how am I going to, you know, tell people when and how, like a funeral, I've never had to organize things to all of that. So everything just piled on me and it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I bet. You had mentioned earlier when we spoke that some sort of organization stepped in and helped out.
Yeah, so when they
Can you share how that helped you either practically or emotionally?
Yeah. When we were going through the whole process, I pushed the baby out. The baby was next to me the whole time until the nurse was like, okay, you have to let go. And they took the baby. And I had a name. We've been calling her. Her name was Pearl.
Beautiful name.
And yeah, thank you. And so when it was time for me to kind of let go and let them do what they had to do with baby PK, the lady mentioned, you know, there was an organization. I think it was Ronald McDonald. I'll have to go back, but I think it was like McDonald's foundation, and they covered for the whole like funeral expenses. And you know, at that time, like I wasn't thinking about hospital bills. I wasn't thinking about funeral or cremation, like all those bills that you have to think about later on.
Right.
And so, yeah, they covered everything for me. After the fact is when I realized, like, wow, I was very grateful. I was very grateful for the donation and how they handled things. And they also handled kind of like the death of certification process. And it was a lot at the time, but looking back on it, it's definitely something that is needed for someone who, or families who are going through the same thing, because that's like the last thing you want to think about,
yeah.
Right? So it was a small burden that was lifted from me and my husband, you know, my family, financially. So it's something that it was hard to go through, but it's something that I feel like it's my assignment to one, speak about my experience, and then two, to help as much as I can. And that's one way I would like for myself and those around me to help is, you know, helping financially to those people who are going through struggles like that.
Yeah. I want to take a pause and just see what the difference is between miscarriage and stillbirth. What is stillbirth in comparison to a miscarriage?
So the difference between a stillbirth and a miscarriage, they consider it like 20 up to 20 weeks of pregnancy, and they consider it as a fetus or baby who would not be able to make it outside of the womb. And then a stillbirth is anywhere around from 20 weeks and up, where, you know, the hospital doctors can actually save the baby outside of your womb. And so, yeah, it's terms like this I didn't even know about, you know, right? But yeah, to be quite frank, that's what one of the big differences.
So I kind of looked up, and I want to give us some facts that we can keep up with today. Stillbirth occurs in 1 out of every 160 pregnancies. Crazy, amongst 160 women. You were one of those. I'm so sorry. Black women in the U.S. face a 2 times higher risk of stillbirth than Caucasian women. Why is that? Everything there is the response to as to like why Black women's health is 2 times, 3 times worse than Caucasian women. Or
yeah, that could be a whole nother episode, girl.
A whole lot we could say about that. But yeah, that's something to know. And of course, families don't talk about it because of shame, stigma, or fear of being blamed. Is that any of, did you ever feel any of those things?
Yeah. Shame, stigma. I wouldn't say so much blame in my scenario, or my circumstance. But yeah, the shame, it's like, is it something that I did? Is it, you know, if I could just go back 5-10 minutes later, how would I change things? The stigma, you know, we're African family. I'm Congolese, my husband from Cameroon. So having those 2 different cultures, and, you know, just hoping that your in-laws is not, you know, blaming you or thinking otherwise. You know, people be talking, Africans be talking. So.
And yeah, definitely. I know that like fertility is such a big thing in the African community. So like your ability to be able to provide them with a child is a whole thing. And now you're promising them a child and you're not delivering on your promise. And it's like, it's not my fault. Like I didn't do anything, but still you do have those people that are like, see that woman, she's cursed. Or see that woman, she did something in her youth that has caused this to happen. There could be so many things that could be said. And so like, I know that like in the Congolese community, like back in the days, women wouldn't really tell people they were pregnant. We didn't do baby showers before a child was born. Like that's like, it's embedded in that culture of like, we don't share because somebody could do something to your child. This, then that, and that, and that could happen. How would you then explain it? And so even in the diaspora, like I'm seeing young ladies, like when they get pregnant, you see them vanish from social media. They are gone. You don't see them anywhere because they don't want to show that they are pregnant because of fears of like, where if something happened to my baby, how will I explain it to people? How do I go about navigating that whole situation? So
yes. So for me, I grew up here in the U.S. We came when I was 8.
Oh God.
So mostly, you know, I grew up here. So for me, it's normal, right? You get married, you have kids, you have a baby shower, like you're waiting for people to support you, to love on you, and take you on to the next step. And I remember like planning the baby shower. My husband was so against it. He was so against it. And you know, we had to have that talk, and he's like, it's a long story, but yeah, he was against it. And now looking back on it, being more wise, I understand why, right? People, women, families don't share that they are expecting. Yeah, I understand it. I understand it because, once you do have that and the baby is no longer, it's like, okay, you exposed everything. Not everybody's waiting for the next exposure, like, right? They're waiting for this newborn, and you can't.
Yeah. By the way, you guys, if you're being touched by this story and you love the work we do at Emo Talk, I urge you to please go ahead and subscribe so that you can become part of the family and continue hearing stories like this and sharing the work that we do here. Naomi, would you say you felt supported or silenced by the people closest to you?
By the people closest to me, I was fully supported. Yeah, I'm so grateful for those who stuck around and stuck beside not only me but also with my husband. I have an amazing friend circle that till this day they're a part of our lives. And so, yeah, I know that time was a time where I had to kind of be selective of who comes around, who stays around, because with this big life change, it's like, okay, who was there, right?
For me,
who messaged me, who remembers the day to text me like, hey, I know this is a hard day for you. Keeping you in my prayers, right? Until this year, I still get texts and I'm like, oh, damn, it is today. God has shifted my mindset to where my body still feels it, still feels the trauma when the day comes around. Which is weird. I've heard people say that before, but
it's real.
It's real. And so, yeah, I'm very thankful for the people who stayed, who's still here, supporting us through this new journey.
I can relate to that. I lost my dad when I was pretty young. And like every year around the same date, my body knows.
Girl.
My body knows.
Yeah.
Some days I'm in bed all day. And then I look at the calendar. I'm like, oh.
That's why.
It's Dad's memorial today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can definitely relate to that.
That just gave me chills.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. As a woman of faith, right? I'm a woman of faith. You're a woman of faith.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of thoughts did you wrestle with your spirituality, dealing with all of this at the time and even in the process of like your second, third kid?
Yeah. Sometimes I still struggle with this.
Yeah.
I always have like some thoughts of why me? Like, what did I do to cause this? Like, why was I chosen
for this?
Like, yeah. And yeah, it's still a battle till now. But now that I'm out of that stage, now we have two beautiful daughters. It's like, thank you. They're a blessing. I realize, like, I'm supposed to do something about it. And every year it's like, okay, I have an idea. I have to do this. It's almost September. It's almost October. I have to do this. And I chicken out. or, you know, something happens to them, like, ooh, I don't know, like, how am I going to introduce this on my social media? Like, how am I going to talk about it and cry in front of people and people, you know, but I know that it's my assignment, and I know that I'm supposed to be doing this and spreading word and helping other women. And it's not just the women, it's also the men. That's another topic. It's also the men.
He was gonna be a father too.
Yeah.
At the time,
yeah, it's and not just that, like the mothers, right? The grandparents, like, you know, expecting their first granddaughter, like that's a big deal. So the whole faith thing I've really had to work on, and just accept it. I've really had to work on it and accept, you know, it is what it is. It happened. Now what? What do we do? How do we move on from here?
Do you feel like, because do you feel like people in the church or like people in the faith community tried to like pressurize you to accept this as God's will and or explain a religious reason as to like why this could have happened and why you should accept it and just move on? Like,
yes. yes, and yes.
Question without like,
Yes. So going through it, I come from a very faith-based family. My husband also comes from a very faith-based family. Our mothers are like prayer warriors. So, you know, they try to be very positive, right? And sometimes you're like, I don't want your positivity.
Yes. I want to dwell in my negativity, okay? It's a lot happening.
Exactly. I don't want it. I don't want it. I do not want to accept that. I'm supposed to be dealing with this. But yeah, there's people who have told me, it's like, you know, it's God's will, you know. You know, everything will be fine. You know, you're gonna have more babies. Stop crying. You're blocking. What did they say? You're blocking your blessings from crying. And I'm just like,
oh Lord.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to, you know, to take that in when you're going through it. But now it's like, okay, you know, I can understand where they're coming from, because they want you have to be positive for you to gain your next blessing, right? So yeah, it was a lot of forcing.
No, I feel like people should let people feel their feels. Like there's a time for everything. I'd be like you know, those death gathering, I don't know what we call them. Like I'd be at a kilio and somebody would be like bereaved or crying, and you'll hear somebody say, God loved and God has taken, we should accept God's will. Omo, is my child, or is my father, is my daughter, like, let me feel my feelings.
Yes, I
think
agree.
There's a time to do it, and there's just like, don't do it too soon. Like, of course you want the person to be well mentally, emotionally, and socially, but like at the same time, like, do give them time to grieve so that they can start the healing process.
Yes.
Because when we don't grieve, we can't heal. You know? So on that point, like, how did your healing process begin? Because I know you're probably still going through it.
Yeah, like honestly, the healing process, I feel like it never ends. I honestly feel like it will never end. My healing process probably started when I took the time to kind of just like be out there and try to be quote unquote normal and accept my new normal at that time.
I like that.
And the way I did that was through hair. And so I took the time to just start braiding people hair. Like I stepped outside the house. I worked at a salon with somebody else.
Had you always done hair before?
I've always done hair, but like on the low. It wasn't like, oh, come and let me. No, I didn't advertise that I did hair. but yeah, so that was a way for me to step outside the house and just be around other women. So that boosted my healing journey, being around other women and being in the salon setting and just talking to women, right? We got a lot to say. And
Yeah.
being in that chair, like behind somebody's,
It's very therapeutic.
is very therapeutic. So to all my clients, yes, they have helped me through my healing journey for sure.
Yeah, that's
For
beautiful.
sure. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. So if you're going through something, step outside.
Yes,
You
step
know,
outside.
Step outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons why we wanted to do this episode was because you felt like this was a calling. It was a mission sent to you by God to do this. How do you feel like we can best support women that are going through this?
Ooh, that's a loaded question.
It is a loaded question. But on the more financial aspect, like what is it that people can do? And maybe even just share like what we hope to do with this episode in helping women who could be in such a situation get their child a dignified barrier.
Yes, so for those of you watching, I really hope that you join me on this journey of helping women go through what they're going through with miscarriages, stillbirths, and not just women, but families that are going through it. I wanted to, and I'll let you know this. I wanted to partner up with another nonprofit organization who will allow us to gift into another family financially.
Right.
And just, the smallest thing can always help. When you're going through, miscarriage and all of that, it's like, that's the last thing you want to think about. Like, how am I going to bypass the funeral and cremation and death certificate and like all of that stuff. Like, that's not what we want to think about, right? And I feel like that's one of the easiest way someone else can help take out some burden from families going through that.
No, thank you. So for all of those who are watching and you feel touched by this story, I am asking you to please click on the link below. We have partnered up with a nonprofit that does just this work, focuses on helping women and families through the process of stillbirth. And so click on that link, give as much as you can. Any small amount of money will help a family in need.
Absolutely.
Truly, truly appreciate that. Naomi, do you have any final thoughts? If people didn't hear anything at all, let them hear this last thing from you.
The last thing I want to say is, and I'm also guilty of this post this experience, is everybody has gone through something. Women have gone through a lot that we don't see, that we don't hear, that we don't talk about.
Right.
I want to encourage those who are going through that phase in their life is to know that you'll come out of what you're going through.
Yeah, I like that.
You'll come out, and you'll come out stronger. I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to be where you are happy, right? If you're in a room or in a house that you just feel so drained, step outside. Like, go out for a walk. Go for ice cream. Like, do something to where it's bringing back fulfillment, some happiness into your day, even if it's for 1 hour, right?
I love that. I love that. Yes, so step out and do your thing. Thank you guys so much for coming on Emo Talk Show and tuning into this episode. I feel so touched by this, and I am so honored to have been chosen to do this with you.
Oh, thank you.
And no, honestly, and I just want to tell you how bold you are for doing this. Women do not speak up about the things they go through. And so when other women are going through things, they think, I'm alone in this. But you're not alone. Somebody out there somewhere has gone through something. And the people who have gone through things, I encourage you to speak up. I encourage you to tell your story. There is power in storytelling. So thank you, Naomi. Like, I am so appreciative that you would choose us, that you would choose me to come and like share your story here. I really don't want to cry because I have to do another episode after this, but I really just want to cry.
No, honestly, thank you so much for.
I really do appreciate
it. Yes. Thank you so much for accepting the invite and accepting and and just being there and doing what you do. I've watched some of your episode and I'm like, oh dang, like some of the topics relates to me, right? And I don't hear about it. So we appreciate you. I'll say it for the people. We appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'll come back for another episode. This is Emo Talk. We are on all social media platforms. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Make sure to subscribe before leaving this and share this link so that you can give a gift to somebody else. Thank you. Much love from Emo Talk. Mwah.
Nimeanza huduma nikiwa mdogo sana. Mdogo nimeanza nikiwa na miaka nafikiri 8, 9 hivi. Mimi naamini katika kutafuta. Naamini katika kutafuta vya kwako haswa. Wanaotuzunguka wanatufanya tujisikie wazito kwa namna ya kutuleta chini. Na wanaotuzunguka wanatufanya tujisikie wepesi kwa namna ya kutuleta juu.
Hizi nyimbo nilivyoangalia kwenye mitandao yako,
zilikugusa.
Sio ndo zimenigusa tu, ndo zimegusa watu wengi sana kwa sababu zina streams kabisa nyingi sana. Ndio. Hizi nyimbo uliziandikaje? Zilitoka kwenye hali gani ya maisha?
Mimi ni mtu ambaye nina maono makubwa. Lakini kuna msemo unasema unaweza ukawa na maono makubwa lakini kama mfukoni ni sifuri, it means nothing. I tried to take it my way.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. Now, take it heavy.
Take the wheel.
Emo Talk Show.